These last four, we're doing leg theory. Now, on these, we're comparing the entire big triangle. And on this big triangle, I've got a 30 and an X. And I'm comparing that to one of the little triangles. And in this case, it's this one, because that's where all my numbers are. So I'm going to be comparing it to X over 8. So that's going to be the setup. So my basic setup is going to be total bottom over corner equals corner. Now, depending on which corner you go to, you want the number on that same side. So I'm going to say same side bottom. So if it's this corner, I want this number. If it's this corner, I want this one. So it's same side bottom. That's my setup. That's my setup. Total bottom over corner, corner over same side bottom. On the quiz, there's going to be 3 of these also. So total bottom. What's the total bottom of that first problem? 30. Because I want the entire corner to corner. So 30 over corner. What's in the corner? X. Corner is X. Then I do corner again over same side bottom. Same side bottom. So just look right below the 8X, and I need the 8. That's my setup. That's going to be my setup. So total bottom over corner, corner over same side bottom. Cross multiply, like we've done every single problem. X squared equals 240. 240, take the square root, 15.5. And like I said, make sure whatever calculator you're using tomorrow, whether or not it's a computer calculator or a phone calculator, make sure you know how to find that square root button. So 15.5. We okay there? Next one, total bottom. No. When gets back.
You can go out there.
Total bottom. What's the total bottom? 17. So total bottom I didn't actually give you, but I can find it. So 17 over corner. What's in the corner? X. And then it's going to be X again over same side bottom. Same side bottom. So you look right below the X, 10. So I need the 10. So whatever corner I headed to, since I headed to this corner, I wanted the right-hand side. Since this one I headed to the left side, I needed the left bottom. So it's whichever one's on the same side. So X squared 170, basically 13, because 169 square root is 13. So it's going to round to 13. So I get 13. So I want you to round to the nearest tenth. Make sure you have a number up to the decimal if it doesn't completely disappear. So like the first one, 15.5, don't round that to 16, because I don't want 16, I want 15.5. So make sure you don't round too far back. Those two, are we okay? Next two, there's there's 4 of these. So this guy, total bottom. What's the total bottom? X. So total bottom over corner, 24. Corner over same side bottom, 18. There's my setup. Bottom, total bottom over corner, corner over same side bottom. Jordan, you might want to pay attention. 18x 576 divide by 18, I get a even 32. So 32 is my total bottom. 32 is what I was missing. Questioning. And the last one. Total bottom, 7. Total bottom was 7. Over corner, x, equals corner over same side bottom, 2. Again, you always want to look right below and figure out what that number is. And there might be a case where I give you, maybe this is 7, and then you're missing this guy. So since I needed this guy, I could take 7, subtract 5 to get the 2. So that might happen. X squared 14. So x equals 3.7. So I got 3.7.
Hey, who's in the bathroom right now?
Alexandria.
Oh,
No, Alexander's there.
Oh, no.
Right there.
There you go.
The review papers, make sure you bring them tomorrow because I will be collecting them tomorrow. If you get hard copies of anything from remote, you can just give me those hard copies. I'm fine with that. But then starting next week again, you'll have to take pictures of things and put it into Google Classroom. So I'll have to get back into that practice of taking pictures of things and turning things in.
Oh yeah, this one's the easy.
Yeah, this isn't that.
It was just pretty much all I did was watch one equation and I pretty much got it. If I would just skip through the videos, look for the equations.
All right, next. So these last two concepts is what I did last week. This is last week's stuff. So side splitters. Side splitters look different than any of the other ones. Yes, I'm still working off of a triangle, but that's the only thing that has any similarity. I mean, it doesn't even look like the right triangle ones. So I don't think you're going to get those confused. The big things with the side splitters is because this line is parallel to one of the sides, these numbers become proportional. And you always want to make sure you have things lined up. So you can put, I always like starting with the x over 10, because x can line up with 10, because I'm looking straight across. 21 can line up with 15, because I'm looking straight across. So you always want to look straight across to see what it lines up with. So I've created proportional parts. Proportional parts. $15x equals 210. 210 divided by 15, I get 14. So x is 14. So 14 is this missing side there. So that's what I have there. So you always want to see what lines up. I always like starting where the question mark is, because I have to have something that lines up with that. So on number 2, my question mark is here, so I'm going to put an x. What would line up with the x? 2. Because when I look straight across, there's nothing there, but I can find it. 10 subtract 8 is 2. So x over 2. So that's what I can line up first. Then what else can I line up?
20 and 8.
The 20 and the 8. So the 10 isn't actually going to go into the proportion, because that's the total side, and I don't have a total side there. But I can do 20 line up with 8. Whatever direction you pick to begin with, keep that same direction. You don't want to change directions on me. 8x 400 no, 8x 40, not 400. X was 5. So this little piece there is 5. Which makes sense because 8's 4 times bigger. 5, 20 is 4 times bigger. So that's the key with the side splitters, is you want to see what lines up. What lines up? Are we okay? 1 and 2. Still see a couple people right.
Gotta go now.
Mr. Puckett.
Can you remember?
Mr. Puckett is now helping with the virtual students.
Not very.
So he's not in here. Mr. Patterny will be sometimes in here, but he's also helping another teacher during this class period.
Nope, I'm kidding you.
Number 3. Start with the X. Start with the question mark. Because you have to have something that it lines up with. So where the question mark is, I'm going to put the X. What lines up with the X? Look across the triangle. 4. So X lines up with 4. What other 2 things can line up? 4 and whatever is here, but I don't have anything there yet. I need to find it. 2. So 4, 2. So again, I'm not going to use the 6 because the 6 is the entire side, and I don't have an entire side to line it up with. So I'm doing piece over piece equals piece over piece. 2x 16. X was 8. So this guy here is 8. And again, it makes sense. 4 is twice as big. 8 is twice as big. So it works out. Number 4. Now this time my X is the entire side, which means I got to make sure it lines up with the entire side on the other side. What's the entire side on the other side? That's not the other side. 20. So X is the entire side here. I'm going to look over here, add these 2 things together, I get 20. So you're looking to the other side. So it's going to be X over 20. So I'm doing total side, total side. You're always going to make sure it lines up that way. So X 20 equals, now the only other thing I've got on this side is a 33. So the 33, I look across, it's going to line up with the 15. 33, 15. That's my set. 33, 15. That's my set. So 15x, 660. 15x, 660. 660 divided by 15, 44. So my missing total side was 44. So this whole thing ended up being 44. That was my final answer.
I did it then.
And that's possible. What'd you do?
I already did like the regular equation and then I just added it after that.
That works. Are we okay, number 4? Slide down. There are 6 of these and then 2 of the last type. So this guy. I'm going to put an X here, which is total side. What does that total side line up with? What's the total side on the other side? 15. So X over 15. What other 2 numbers can I line up? 9. Look straight across. 5. 9, 5. 5x equals 135. X is 27. So I get a 27 here. I know I'm not spending a whole lot of time when I get to the proportion, because I'm trying to save your time to do things at the end here. So make sure you know how to solve the proportions because everything is a proportion. Number 6, x. What lines up with the x? X is just this piece, so I need just this piece, 8. Because x wasn't the whole thing this time, it was just a piece of it. So if it's just a piece of it, I need just a piece of it on the other side. Well, the only other thing I've got there on that right-hand side is the total. So the 18 here, that's going to be the 12. Because now I need the whole thing here. So 18, 12. That's my 7. 12x, 144. X equals 12. So I get 12 there. So that was my missing value. Side splitters. Like I said, the key with the side splitters, you always want to make sure you're lining up the same thing from each side. So if you line up kind of the top piece, it goes across from the top piece. Bottom piece goes across from the bottom piece. Total side, total side. Always make sure you're heading the same direction. Don't change directions on me. Don't change directions. Last 4. Probably the easiest of the 4, I think. Angle bisectors. Now the angle bisector worksheet, this is what was technically actually due today. We weren't here to remind you that this was due. So if you have not turned it in, I will give you a hard copy of this so you can work on this, and you can turn this in tomorrow also. Don't get these confused with angle or with the right triangles. There's no right triangle here. Don't get them confused with that. On the angle bisector, because these two angles are the same, these 4 numbers are going to create proportional sides. And if it's set up like this, it pretty much just solves itself. Because I'm just going to put these just like this. 12 over x, 18 over 6. And it pretty much just looks like it needs to look. $18x 72. So x equals 4. So this little piece here is 4. And again, 6, 18 is 3 times bigger. 4, 12 is 3 times bigger. So I created proportional sides. So number 8. Now the tricky thing with 8 is, again, I need these 4 spots. That's what I need. That's what I'm going to set my proportion up with. So I'm going to actually have to figure out what that one circle is first, then go to the question mark at the end. So I'm going to put, let's put z here. And I'll put x there. So I'm going to solve for z first. So again, it pretty much just sets itself up. Z over 40, 10 over 25. There's my setup. Cross multiply. So 25z 400. Z is 16, but that's not your final answer. That's not what I was looking for. 16 is this piece of the bottom. I needed the entire side, so I got to add those two numbers together at the end. 16 plus 10, 26 is my final answer. That's my final answer. Dallas. At the bell.
Who?
Who's Dallas?
Who's Dallas? Then.
It's been so long since I've seen people and with masks on, I have to look at people again. I'm like, who are you again?
So is it X over 26?
Yeah, most of us keep their cameras off on the left.
Yeah.
What's that?
Is it X over
Elementary
26 or
had
26
to
over
keep
26?
Neither one, because I need this position here is what I needed. So I made up a variable for there,
So we just add that and that's it?
and then add the 16 and the 10 together after I solved the proportion, then my final answer was a 26. Are we good? 7, 8.
Hold on.
Okay. good, Caleb?
Yep.
Last two. So again, on these, I am working off of these 4 positions. That's what I'm working off of. This guy, there's nothing here, but I can find it. So I don't want to put a variable there this time because I can actually figure out what it is. How big would this segment here be?
51 minus 50.
Right, so it'd be 36. So I can find it this time. So my variable is going to actually go where the question mark is and make that an x. Because I always need these 4 positions to set up my proportion. So x, 15, 60, 36. 36x, 900. 900 divided by 36. Yep, 25. So x, 25. So this missing side was 25. That was 25. You're always working off of those 4 positions. Now, number 10, there's really no surprises. Everything's in the right position. The only difference is it's going to take a little bit more algebra because I got a 2x minus 10 here. Again, just make sure you keep the same direction. So I'm going to kind of work this way. 3, 2x minus 10, 6, 4. I'm going to work that way. Little bit of algebra. So 6 in parentheses 2x minus 10 equals 12. Distribute 12x minus 60 equals 12. Add the 60. 12x equals 72. Divide, I get 6. That was my missing value. So there'll be a couple of problems on the quiz that might have a little bit more algebra. Not a lot, but a little bit more algebra.
I'm okay with that.
Now, while you're finishing copying that, I'm going to switch to Google Classroom for a second. Now, that was the last homework, like I said, it was kind of technically due today. Now, I've got some people that have turned it in, but not many. So I'm going to go ahead and pass out hard copies of both the notes and the worksheet. So that way you can get those turned in tomorrow also.
What is it over? This?
Yes. And a lot of people haven't turned it in.
I think I did.
So except for Maya, you turned them both in. Ada McPherson, you turned them both in. Chad, you did the notes, but not the homework. Everybody else needs the copies. Everybody else needs the copies. So let me pass these out first.
I'll show them.
And like I said, I'm giving you both. The notes are still extra credit. So you can still watch the video I did Thursday, Friday, fill out the notes. They're still extra credit. I'm saying that they're due tomorrow, so you can still get full extra credit of 5 points. Like I kept saying, take it where you got it. You had yours done. You had yours done.
I turned in my slides, split up more.
Okay.
So nothing else. Even says turn it in. Can you repeat it? Yeah, I knew I did.
Chad, I said that you did the notes but need the homework, right? Right. One's the notes, one's the homework. Look at the top.
Wait a minute, these notes look a little